Hi, my name's David. I'm here to show you how to set up creative agencies in Deskera. Let's click on Books. Inside here it says choose how you want to start your journey. Explore with a demo company or set up your company. Let's set up your company. Inside here we can update the company name. We can select which country you're from. We can choose which currency you want to use. We can change the financial year start date, and we can change the book beginning date. So for example, May 1st. And what is book beginning date? Book beginning date means that anything before this date is considered an opening. So this is where you're going to input your opening amounts for your chart of accounts, input your opening amounts for your inventory, and create your opening invoices and opening bills. Now it says here, do you collect taxes? This is based upon which country you select here. This is your tax compliance. So you select another country, then this should change. If you don't see anything here, most likely it's under your organization profile under compliance. What does your business deal with? Does it deal with service, digital products, or inventory? So for this case, we're going to choose services. And we're going to click all set. But just to let you know, you can always change it later in the settings. So if you click something and you don't think, and you want to include more or less, you can always change it in the settings. So let's click all set. Inside here, you can create your first invoice, create your first expense, import your data, so you can import your chart of accounts, products, contacts, and opening balance, and connect to bank. But first, let's click on Settings, click on Organization Profile, and click on the pencil icon. Inside here, you can add an image. You can see the name, the tax registry. You can change the date format. Under Finance, you can see the financial start date, the book beginning date, the reporting currency. You can see the number of decimal places, so you can go 2, 3, and 4. Please take note, you can go up, but you can't go back down. For example, if I select 4, in the future I'll not be able to select 3 or 2 again. Inside here we have the number format, and we can activate multi-currency. For example, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, and I can search for currencies up here. For example, European euro, and I can save it. Next, under compliance, we can see our compliance details. This is based upon your tax registry. So I selected United States. So I see the United States tax registry here. If you select a different country will show up. For example, Texas. So for the fact that I selected US, I'm just putting my tax ID number and the states where you can collect taxes. Next, let's choose the address. So inside here we can input the address. So for example, 1900 E Street is no. And I can click it and you can see it auto-populates. Now if I have other addresses I want to add, I can click add another address. And I can type in, for example, 755 E East AVE Fresno. And you can see it populates, and I can click on it here. Then I can set this as my current billing address or set as my current shipping address. And then I can click update. And we can click yes. And we can see the information has updated here. Next, let's click on settings. And let's click on currency. Inside here, I can see currency, code, symbol, exchange rate, the exchange rate date, the visibility, and actions. Do I want to change the rate or view the rate? If I want to activate a currency, I can just click on the eye icon. If I want to activate multiple currencies, for example, Thai baht and the peso, I can click activate up here. Now if I want to deactivate the currency, like the franc, I can just click on the eye icon. If I want to deactivate multiple, I can click over here, for example, Thai baht and the peso, and I can click deactivate. Now if I want to view the rate or change the rate, I can click on change rate here. And I can see the exchange rate, effective date, and timestamp. And if I want to, I can update it right on the screen and click save. Now for the currencies that are not visible, I can click view rate. And I can see the historical rate here, the exchange rate, effective date, and the timestamp. Next, let's click on settings. And let's click on payment terms. Inside here, we can see the name, the term date, and the quick action. We can also add a payment term by clicking Add Payment Term. And we put in the name, for example, maybe net 60. We can put in the terms days 60. And we can use as default. So if we click this, it'll be set as default. After created, I can click the three dots, and I can edit, delete, and set as default. So if you don't want net 30 to show up every time, you can change which one should be the default by clicking on the three dots. Next, let's click on settings, and let's click on unit of measurement. Inside here, I can see name, description, and quick action. I can see edit and delete, but please take note, you cannot delete system default UOM, and you cannot edit it. Let's add a UOM. Let's click on here, and let's put in the UOM name, like for example, package. And let's save. If I created it, then I can edit it and I can delete it. If it's default, you cannot edit or delete. Now let's click on settings, and let's click on custom fields, and let's click on create. Inside here, you can create your different types of custom fields, such as text box, multi-select drop-down menu, numbers, and you just put in the field name here. So for example, product type, maybe I want it to be a drop-down, maybe I want, for example, ads, brands, and maybe media. Again, it's up to you on what you want to put in here. Then you select availability, and then I can just select products, for example, and create. I can create another one. For example, maybe I want contact person. Then I can put in the max length. Click next, and then I can put it to quotations, purchase order, invoice, and bills, and create it. And I can create also other ones like a number field as well, but it's up to you. Next, let's click on settings. Inside here, we have our document template, audit log, import log, bulk, import our email. So inside here, we can see input our sender name, sender email, username, password, server host name, and port number. This is so that way when you set up your email here, you can actually use it to email the invoices out using this email. So that's the purpose of this. Next, let's go to settings. Let's go to sequence number. And inside here, I can have separate sequence number, and I can set it up here. I can confirm it and click next. And then let's go to dashboard, and let's go to import your data, contacts, import data. And let's download the sample file, and let's open the sample file. Now we're inside the contact template. Inside here, we're going to insert the contacts. If you have your own, of course, your own file with all your vendors and customers inside there, you can just take that immediately and just download in there, and then you can manually map them accordingly. But if you don't, you can use our contact template. So what is a contact? A contact is a vendor or a customer. The system determines this based upon the transactions used with this contact. So for example, if a contact uses sell transactions, such as quotation, invoice, then it'll be considered a customer. If a contact uses buy transactions like a purchase order or a bill, then it'll be considered a vendor. If the contact uses both a sell as well as a buy transaction, it'll be considered both a customer and a vendor. Inside here, we have the sequence code. So that's a unique identifier for this contact. The contact name, currency, email, receivable count, payable count, payment terms, billing address, and the country, state, city, and postal code, shipping address, and the country, state, city, and postal code. Now, based upon the country's tax compliance, these three fields may change. You may even have more fields than this, or less fields. So for example, since I selected the US, we have tax number, is tax exemption, and tax exemption reason. But if you select a different country, these fields will change. So let's save and close, and let's import this. Next, we're just going to drag and drop the file into here. You can also click browse and then select the file and click open. After that, we're going to click Next. As you can see, all the fields have auto-mapped. But if you're using your own import template, then you just click on here and then you can go and find the field and then select it. If the field is not correct, you can skip columns that do not map, so they may not be required. Let's click Next. Inside here we can see the import properties. So we have the import option, add new record, update existing record, add new and update existing records. In case of duplicate records, reject the duplicate, import the duplicate rows. In case of invalid values, reject the entire row, reject the invalid value but import the row, or add the value in the dropdown. Now inside here we can see our different fields and see if they all look correct. If something does not look correct, we can go and change it directly on the screen. So for example, maybe I want to change this to net 10. And if they're all supposed to be net 10, I can apply to the entire column. And everything looks good, I can click Submit. Now I can go to my contacts. I can see they've been imported. I can go back to the dashboard, click Import Your Data, and now let's import products. And we're going to import tracked and non-tracked products, and we're going to click Next. And we're going to download the sample file, and we're going to open it. Now we're in the product template. Inside here is where you're going to input your non-tracked and tracked products. So based upon what type of business you have, you may decide to input non-tracked or tracked. So what is a non-tracked product? A non-tracked product can be like a service. You can think of it like aircon repair, web design, email marketing, stuff like that. Where you have tracked products or physical products, you can think of it like computers, laptops, a desk. You can think of it like also software, serial the software codes and stuff like that. Anything you want to keep track of is tracked. Anything you want to not keep track of is non-tracked products. Inside here we have our sequence code. So that's our unique identifier for our products. You can either manually input a sequence code here, or you can use our default number range. Now we have product name, product type, is it non-tracked or tracked, product description, barcode, our purchase account, purchase price, sales account, sales price. Is it taxable? So this is based upon your country's tax compliance. So I selected the US, so that's why it is saying is taxable. If you select a different country, then you'll have different fields appearing here. We have our unit of measurement, our opening quantity, our opening valuation. So what is our opening quantity and opening valuation? For tracked products that have inventory, anything before the book beginning date is considered our opening. So based upon your date, you may have opening quantity inside the system. So for example, I may have 5 packages with a value of $154. So what does this mean? It means that my 5 packages equals $154. We have our cost of goods sold account, our inventory account, stock adjustment account, our warehouse, purchase return, sales return, and going forward in these fields, you can add in your custom fields and then fill in the data accordingly. So if you created several custom fields for a product, you just put in the field name here, and then you fill in the data. Next, we're just going to go click Save, and then we're going to import. Now inside here, I'm just going to drag and drop the file right on in here. You can also click Browse, select the file, and open. And if you have your own product template, you can also just drag and drop it in here as well. Then inside here, you can see if all the fields map. If you're using your own template, just make sure you click here and then you assign the correct ones. And if it's a custom field, you can also click Create Custom Field here. If you do not want to import, click Do Not Import this column. You can also click here, Skip Columns that do not map. And after all that's done, you click Next. Now inside here, we have the same import properties like we did for contact. We have import options in case of duplicate records, in case of invalid values. And inside here, I can see all the information. Now, if I want to change something, I can just change it directly on the screen. So maybe 105, for example, and I can submit it. The file has been uploaded. So now if I click on products, I can see my products here. Just quickly, I want to go to Dashboard and click Import Your Data and click on Products and click Import. And I just want to explain what a bill of materials is. A bill of materials is a bunch of components that are combined together to form a final product. You can think of it like a desktop, which has, of course, your RAM, your CPU, your motherboard, your hard drive, your fan, your casing, and you assemble it all together, and there's probably assembly charges and additional charges to make that product. You can also think of it like chicken soup. You have your noodles, your chicken broth, your vegetables, and you cook it all together and combine it together to make chicken soup. You probably also have additional cooking charges and stuff like that. And you can also think of it like packages. So if I have several tracked products that I want to combine together to form one package, I can put them all together, form a package, and then sell them in that package. So that's just an example of what a bill of material is. Let's go to accounting. Inside here is where you have your chart of accounts, your journal entries, your opening balances, your debit notes, credit notes, expense, deposits, and financial year closing. In your financial year closing, this is where you select your settings. Am I closing every monthly, quarterly, yearly? Is it custom? So you select which one, you select your retained earning account, and then you save it. Once you reach that period and you're ready to close it, you click Close Period. You put in the period name, so this is your description of what this period is. Your closing period, so this is your year. And this is your period, so this is your month. So this, of course, information changes based upon what you selected when you set it up. And I'm not going to close anything because I have no transactions. Let's go back to accounting and let's go to opening balances. So this is where you can put in your opening account. So all your openings for your different chart of accounts you input here. Under inventory, so this can be your opening valuation, opening quantity for your products. And under contacts, this is where you can create your opening sales invoice and opening billing. Now, if you wish to import, we have the import option for your contacts, inventory, and your accounting as well. So you can import them. Next, let's click on Sell. Inside here, we can create our quotes, our invoices. So you just click Create Invoice or Create Quote. You can click the plus sign to close this. Let's click on Invoices. Let's click the plus sign again. And inside here is where you can import your invoices. So if you want to import them, you can download your sample file and input the information here. If you don't want to import them, you can just create invoice here. We can add in the contact. So for example, maybe Jake's Restaurants. We can put in the contact name. Maybe Jake, let's see, Jake Roberts. And if we want to add additional custom fields, we can click here. We can choose text box, multi-select down, number. We can select which ones we want here. Now if I want to add in a line item, I can do that. Select here, for example, maybe a brand kit. And maybe a logo animation. Then I can click the three dots. I can click on custom field. And then I can add it. So for example, maybe this is a brand. And maybe, let's see, this one, maybe media. Then I can attach any attached files, put in a memo. If there's a discount, I can put in a discount here. If I put 10, it becomes a flat discount. If I put a percentage, it becomes a percentage discount. I can also change the unit of measurement. So for example, not unit measurement, the unit price here if I want to. I can click on custom field settings, so I can hide them if I want to, or show them. Set recurring, so if this is a recurring invoice, I can set recurring, monthly, weekly, custom. I can select the first date and the ending date of when this ends. I can click on auto send, put the sender name, send to, reply to, subject. I can add in placeholders if I want to. Contact name. I can send a copy to myself. I can choose the template that I want to use. And I can save it. And click more. I can set up multi-currency. So if I want to select multi-currency, I can select here, put in the currency amount, and then I click update currency. I'm just going to press cancel though, because I don't want to change the currency. I can go serial number. I can change it, or sequence number. I can manually input it. Use one of the runnings. I can do custom number format. I can put in the prefix. Put in the separator, display digits, separator, and I can put in the suffix. and I can save it. Now if I want to change it, I just click on it, click on the three dots, and I can edit and I can delete it. So for now, I'm just going to use our running number. We can set up payments, so I can set up Veeam, Stripe, PayPal, or is it not applicable. I also can manage. For example, what should this label be for item? Do I want to call it services or something else or other? Description, do I want to change what this label is? Quantity, UOM, price, and discount. So I can change all the labels here based on my requirements. Once everything looks done, I can save and create, save and send, save and payment. So I'm just going to save and close for now. Next, I'm going to click on three dots. I'm going to click on fulfill. Inside here, I can see the product description required and committed. You can see stock left is NA. The reason for that is that it's a non-tracked product. Since we're not keeping track of the product quantity, we don't need to worry. We just put in the quantity here, and we can put in the fulfill date of when it's fulfilled, and we click fulfill. After that, we can click get paid. Inside here, I can change the amount. I can change the currency. So for example, maybe I want to get paid only $2,000. Payment type bank transfer, choose the date, put in the reference number, click next, and then receive the payment, close. And now you can see it's a partial payment. If I click get paid again, you can see the remainder is here. Again, I can select the payment type, I can choose the date, reference number, and receive it. Next, let's go to apps. Inside here, we have our different payment gateways like Veeam, PayPal, Stripe, and Wise. If I want to receive payment from a customer, I can do that through Veeam, PayPal, and Stripe. Please take note, Veeam requires your base currency to be USD. You can also make payment to your vendor using Veeam and Wise. We have our fixed assets here as well. We can track our shipments using USPS, FedEx. We have our stock transfer, stock adjustment. We connect to multiple different types of applications using Integrately, Pabbly, Zapier, and Integromat. We can also connect to different e-commerce sites using Ecom. Like we can connect to Amazon, Shopify, and WooCommerce. So all you do is click open, then you connect to Deskera, then you connect to the Amazon account or the Shopify account or WooCommerce account, and then you can see your orders, customers, and products for all three. All right. Next, let's go to Deskera Books, and let's click on Bank. So inside here is where you're going to be able to create your different bank accounts. You can import your bank statement. You can reconcile your bank account. So let's add a bank account here. So let's input the account name. So let's select maybe Wells Fargo. You can put in the account code. You can choose the currency here you want, and you can input the description. We can click Save and Next. Now Plaid is opened up. So if you want to connect your bank to Plaid, you can click Get Started. If not, just click the X and then click Skip. So let's click Get Started. Inside here, I can see my bank immediately on the screen, Wells Fargo. I can put in my username and password. But if I don't, I can just type it in here. So for example, let me type in bank. And then I can see all the different banks here. And for example, I can look at First Citizens Bank or Union Bank and just click on it, put in the username and password. So you just select which one, you fill in the data, and you connect. But if you don't want to connect, just click the X and click Skip. And your bank has been created. So we also have rules. So you can create different rules based upon your bank transactions coming in from your bank or based upon how you import your bank statements. So when you click on rule, you can add a rule here, put in the name, apply the type credit or debit, put the conditions in here, and then determine what type of transaction should be created. Then most importantly down here, do you want to review and create or do you want it to be auto-created? So this is up to you. You can determine how you want it done. Next, let's click on Reports. Inside here, we can see our financial reports, our profit and loss, balance statement, cash flow statement, general ledger, trial balance, our reconciliation reports, statement of accounts, our tax compliance. So based upon which country you've selected, these reports will be changed. So I selected US, so I see my sales tax report. But these is where your tax compliance reports will show. You can see your purchase reports, such as age payable, bills, purchase orders, purchase by product. You can see your inventory reports. So if you keep track of the inventory, this is where you can see your inventory reports. This is sales reports, so I can see my age receivables, my quotation, my invoices, my sales by products, my credit notes. So I can see all my reports here. And that was a quick look at Deskera Books. Let's click on the Switch To icon and let's click on Sales. Now we're at the dashboard. Inside here we can see organizations, people, deals lost, deals won, contact report, upcoming activities, deal stage, deal won versus deal lost, campaigns, and tickets. Next, let's go to settings. Inside here we have our user settings, our team settings. So this is based upon your different visibility. So who can see your contacts and who can see your deals? Currently we have 3 different types of visibility. We have private, we have teams, and we have everyone. So this is where you can set up your team. We also have custom fields. So this is where you can create a custom field. You can create a text box, single selection drop-down menu, numbers, country, currency, and date. And you can add them to your contacts or deals. We have your email. Inside here you connect an email, and you can input your sender name, email address, username, password. So for incoming mail, for IMAP, you put it in the server, you put in the port. For outgoing mail, SMTP, you put in the server and port. And do you allow non-secure certificates? We also have our integration settings, so Microsoft 365, Google Tag Manager, webhooks. We also have guides, so this is where you can put in your support domain. So for example, creative demo, for example, search. And if it's available, you can then assign it. Then you can choose your hero image, logo, favicon. You can go here and do settings. You can make it active. You can remove the Powered by Deskera logo. And after everything is correct, you can go to save and open. Then you can see, of course, your announcements and FAQ. I'll show you where you can create those later on. Now let's click on tickets. So this is where you can then add your email to it. So for example, I can add a ticket here. I can click on email here, see any emails, and I can add a support email here. So I can put in the sender name, email address, username, password. Again, I can input the server port for the incoming mail and the server import for the outgoing mail and allow non-secure certificates. We also have our audit trail here, our preference. So this is where you can disable Powered by Deskera for campaign and Powered by Deskera for web to form. And we can also see our import log here. Next, let's go to contacts. Inside here, I can see my contact's name, phone, deals open, the owner, visibility, any labels. I can click on the columns here and I can move and change it to however I like. And I can hide fields that I don't want to see. For example, maybe I don't want to see people. I save, and then you can see it changes. I also can select multiple and I can change label. For example, warm, and they're all changed. I can also select individual ones and change label. So for example, maybe a hot lead. Next, let's go to marketing. Inside here, I can create my segments. So add a segment. So I'll just call it, for example, services, for example. And I can select here the ones I want. I can also click filter. Inside here, I can filter by owner, sub-owner, visibility label, or any custom fields. So this may be important if you have a large amount of segments. That way you're able to filter out the ones you want, and then you can add them to your segment. Once everything's been added, you can go and save it. Next, let's click on email. Inside here, I can see my different email templates. I can also add an email template here. I can put in the email template name, for example, test. Now I can input a text, image, image group, image text, box text, 1 section, half section, 1/3 section, 3/7 section, button, divider, link block, link, and list items. So for example, it's just as easy as dragging and dropping. So for example, if I want a half section, I just drag and drop it. If I want to add an image, I just drag and drop it here. And then I can just add image through the link, or I can just find the image and just drag and drop it to the screen, for example. And then I'll populate here. I can click on it, and the image is added. I can also add a text field here. So for example, if I want to say hi, and then I can select my placeholder. So for example, first name or last name. So maybe hi, last name, comma, how are you? And the placeholders we have are first name, last name, full name, email, phone number, address, organization, and contact type. Also, I have to input the contact details. The reason for this is the CAM Spam Act. So for example, and save it. That way it's all updated. And then if I want to see full screen, I see full screen. If I want to view the code, I can view the code, copy it, and export it out. If I want to toggle the image on and off, I can just click here. And if I want to import a template, so I've created my own HTML template, I can just paste it in here. I also can see what it looks like on the desktop, on the tablet, and on the mobile phone. So that way I know it looks correct in all these different views. After that, I can just click Save. Next, we have our form. So if I click on Form, Add Form, I can create a form for contacts and deals. So if I click on Contacts and click Next, I can put in the form name, for example, Contact. Then I can just drag and drop like organization, email, maybe phone number. And I can hover over each one and make it mandatory or delete it. And if I want to add custom fields, I can click Add Custom Fields here, create one, and then drag and drop. Let's click Next. Inside here, do I want to display a thank you message or redirect to another page? For example, maybe your home page. I can send the submission email notification to somebody, so I can select that person here. Assign owner, assign sub-owner. Assign visibility. Do I want it private, team, or everyone? And assign label. Are these considered cold, warm, or hot leads? After that, I can publish it. I can copy the embedded code, and I can also view the form here. So after I copy the embedded code, I can add that to my web page, and the form will appear. Next, let's click on Services. Actually, no, let's click on Campaigns. Inside here, let's create a campaign. For example, let's create June campaign. Let's put in the subject, June sales event. Then we can select our category name. For example, uncategorized, or I can add a new category, for example, sales. Save it. Click Next. I can select my segment, for example, services. I can create a new segment here. Click Next. And now I can select my email template. I can use a pre-existing one if I want to, or I can use the one I created. And then I can click Save and Continue. Then I can click Next. Now inside here I have an option. I can use Deskera email service or use my own. If I want to use my own, I click Add Email. So again, I put my sender name, email address, username, password. But inside here, I'm only going to use my outgoing mail SMTP. So I'm going to put my server, my port, and whether or not I allow secure, non-secure certificates, and then I'm going to save. You can add up to 5 accounts. If you use Deskera email service, you just put in the sender name here, email address, and then it'll ask you to verify the email. So you click Verify. Then you have to wait for it to appear in your email. And then you click on the verification. And once it says it's verified, then you can refresh and it should show verified here. So verified email. I can use a different reply to address here. I can send now or schedule for later. So for example, if I want to schedule for later, let's say 7 o'clock, and I can set it. I can send a test email, save as draft, or schedule. Now it's been scheduled. I can go to campaign. I can see it's scheduled. And once it's released, then I can drill in and see the reports inside. Next, let's go to services. Inside, let's click on guide. I can see my different sections here. If I want to add a section, I click on the add button and click on section. If I want to add article, I can click on article. And this is where I can put in the title, the text, add an image, add a link. Is the visibility for signed-in users or everyone? Which section does it go under? Who's the author? And of course I can save, and then I can also publish. Let's click on support. Inside here I can see all my support tickets. I can create a new ticket. And if I want to manage your view, I can click here. And then I can click on add ticket view. Then I can select the field, and I can choose status, type, last updated, assignee, priority. For example, if I select assignee, I can say is David McGoldrick, so I can see all of them that have been assigned to me, and I can add additional conditions. For example, last update, or maybe priority is high, for example, and then I can just save it. Next, let's go to deals. Inside here, I can see all my different types of deals. If I click on default pipeline, I can add a pipeline. So, if I have my own pipeline and I want to set it up, I can set it up here. I can change the deal name, the help text, the probability, the rotting days for all this. And I can also click here to create a deal, or I can click on the plus sign to create a deal. So for example, let's say I can select the organization, Jim's Computers, and I can just type in the contact. So maybe it's Jim Brown. And it's just a brand new one. I can put in the deal value. And I can select the closing date and deal date, and I can save it. After that, I can drill in. If I want to edit it, I can click on 3 dots, edit or delete the deal. If I'm connected to my email, I can send out my emails from here to the contact. I can also log mails. Under activity, I can create an activity. So for example, I can create a call, meeting, task, deadline, email, or lunch. So let's create a call, for example. Then I can assign it to, select the contact person, select the organization, and I can mark it as done. I can send reminder emails to assignee, or I can send reminder emails to contacts, and I can save it. And then the activity is created. I can then edit, delete, or I can click this box to complete it. I can add any notes. I can see the log. And inside deal, I can just drag and drop it. So for example, if I want to drag it to presentation scheduled, let's see, contract sent, and then I can either drag to close won, close lost, or I can drill in and click deals won or deals lost. Also, we have list view here, so I can see the list of my deals on one screen, and we also have a filter option, so I can filter by all this different type of information. Next, let's click on activities. Inside here, we can generate a calendar URL, and then you can attach it to your calendar, and then you'll be able to pull in all the activities to that calendar, so that way you're always in sync. We can also see the list view here. So for example, if I want to see all the calls, meetings, tasks, deadlines, emails, or lunches, I also can see all, and all to do or done. And that was a quick look at Deskera CRM. Next, let's click on Switch To, and let's switch to People. Inside here, we can input the country, for example, United States of America. And it's important that you select the correct country, because this will change your statutory requirements. So if I select United States of America, it'll show the statutory requirements for the United States of America. If I change it to Singapore or a different country, it'll show that statutory requirement. So please make sure you select the right country. Next, we can put in the address. And then I can just click here and it'll auto-populate. Let's click next. I can input the schedule. So for example, monthly. And then I can select the pay period. Is it monthly, weekly, twice per month, or bi-weekly? And don't worry, you can create multiple pay schedules. based upon your requirements. Then you can select the pay day as well as the first pay date. I can click next. Then I can input my employee's name, for example, David Williams. I can put the email address, for example, David82, and I can put in the basic salary. So for example, 4,000. And is this per year, per month, or per hour? But I recommend that you don't add your employees this way. We have an import option where you can just drag and drop maybe your employee file into there and map the fields. Or if you don't have that, you can download our sample template, fill in the data, and also fill in and then upload the information. Let's click finish. Thank you. Sit back and relax while we're setting up your organization. Now it's set up. Next, let's click on employees. Employees. And inside here we have our employee list. This is where you can import your employees. You can download the sample file, or you can drag your own file into here, and then you can map the fields. Now if I were to edit an employee, you can see all the information. You can put in the designation, date of birth, joining date, address, employee type. You see full-time, part-time, casual worker, shift worker, probation, out worker. Payment method, direct deposit, cash, or check. You can assign components here. And then this is based upon your statutory compliance. So you fill in the information based upon that. And this changes, again, based upon which country you selected. Since I selected the United States, it shows the United States statutory compliance. If I select another country, it should show that country's statutory compliance here. Then I can save it. I can also add in contractors here by clicking Add Contractor. Again, this is based upon your statutory compliance. Now let's click on Settings. Inside here, I can see my company settings. I can update the information, work week, the offboarding checklist. I can set up my appraisal cycle, appraisal period frequency, appraisal date, my questions. I can set up my tax details. Again, this changes based upon your statutory compliance. My pay slip designer. So this is where I can modify my pay slip. And you can see here, of course, section 1/2, section 1/3, section 3/7, divider, text, image, grid item, earnings, deductions, and footer. And if I add in a text, we have, of course, select value fields. So you have all these different value fields here. Next, let's click on pay schedule. So this is where you can add in your multiple different types of pay schedules if you want to. If we click on components, this is where I can add in my different types of components. So if I want to add a component, for example, bonus, I can select this as an earning. You can also select a deduction. That could be like, for example, dental insurance, health insurance, vision insurance. And I can choose the type. Is it fixed or is it a variable based upon the percentage of your basic income, percentage of a specific component, amount per day for that day's worked. So you can select which one you want, and then you can save it. Next, let's click on payroll and click on pay run. Inside here, I can add a pay run. I can select the schedule, the pay period, last pay date, work period. Is it applicable to all users or is it for a specific user, for example, like David Williams? And then I can process. After that, I can see all my deductions, my employee taxes, my net pay, and of course this will change based upon your statutory compliance. Then I can go and process the payroll. It says, to ensure accuracy, please review your payroll numbers and make sure they are 100% correct. Do you wish to continue to process payroll? Yes. I can view the summary and I can finish it. And now it appears here. Now if I go back to employee list, I click on David Williams. Inside here, I'll be able to download his payslip. Next, let's go to eLeave. Actually, let's just take a quick look at reports. Where are my reports? Here they are. And this is where you can see your payroll report, employee withholding forms, and federal forms. Again, these are your statutory compliance reports, and they'll change based upon your country that you've selected. Next, let's go to e-leave. Inside here, we can click on settings and we can click on leave management. We can click new leave type. I can put in the leave type name, for example, annual leave. Select the days per year. Leave prorate, leave accrual on, first day of the year, last day of the year, and leave accrual one time, monthly, or yearly. Does the leave carry forward? What's the maximum leave balance? Maybe 28. How many days can you carry forward? Maybe, let's see, 14. Any description? Is it based upon gender? You can think of this like maternity or paternity leave. Your marital status. Does it allow for unpaid leave? And years of service-based entitlement. So for example, if I want to say 0 to 1, you get 10, 0 to 2, you get 12, and let's say 0 to 3, you get 14. I can set it up like this, and then I can save it. Next, I can go to leave adjustment, and I can add leave adjustment here. Yearly holiday, I can add my different holidays here. And we can decide, is it recurring every year or is it a one-time? So you can think of it like 4th of July or National Day, where it may only recur for that one, it may recur on that date every year. Whereas one time, you can think of like Chinese New Year. It changes every year based upon, what's it called? The lunar cycle, if I remember correctly. So you'll have to update it accordingly every year. We can click here and select our user management and our team settings. So this is where you can assign your teams, and you can set who's the manager and who's the user. So you can determine who approves the leaves. And then we have company settings. So I can see all the information here, work week as well. Next, let's go to expenses. Inside here, I can see my expense claim dashboard. I can click on admin settings. This is where I can create my groups and create a new group or modify my current group. And I can add members. So for example, David Williams. And he's added as a member, and I can assign the manager. I can go to categories. I can create a new category, for example, golf. I can set as default and save it. And then I can click on new claim here and start creating my claims. And that's a quick look at Deskera People.